Hi, I'm Peter J. Ray. Welcome to Adventures in History. Today's topic is Dearest Mother, Love Ruthie. Ruth Smallshaw Ray's Letters to Her Mother. 1949, Part 43. This was originally published as Smallshaw Family Memories Collection, or SFMC, number 28, published on April 1st, 1998. A letter from the editor, yours truly, Peter J. Ray. Hello, everybody. Well, here you go. Another fascinating glimpse into the early life of our dear mother, Ruth Smallshaw Ray. This issue captures the time when Ruthie turned 25 years old, practically an old maid. And Ruthie's love affair with Cleveland, Ohio, and John S. Ray continued. Although she didn't know it, before she celebrated another birthday, she would marry John Ray. Yes, during the summer, fall, and early winter of 1949, Ruthie continued her unbelievably hectic lifestyle, teaching deaf children to support herself as well as pay for her course of study, carrying a heavy load of classes, while doggedly pursuing her degree, a Bachelor of Science in Education from Western Reserve University, moving into a new apartment, supplementing her income with babysitting, enjoying John Ray's company to movies, dances, parties, and various cultural activities, falling in love with John Ray's big extended family, and attending her first Lakeside, Ohio reunion in August. These are among the highlights in this issue. What strikes the reader is the fascinating personality of Ruth Smallshaw, energetic, enthusiastic, full of life, popular, attractive, creative, fun-loving, a devoted daughter, creative, artistic, a unique woman whom we have been blessed to be a part of her life. Peter J. Ray. 2493 Overlook Road, Cleveland Heights, Ohio, June 24th, 1949. Dearest Mother, I've been looking for a letter from you all week, but expect it's just what I deserve after being so on again in my letter writing. I can't promise that I'll change either, as loaded up again I am. I mentioned possibly that they asked me to take a full caseload, 20 patients, which pays my tuition. Well, they filled me up with 24 cases, but I didn't say anything. Wednesday night, Mr. Fortune called me in and said that since I was over my caseload, that they were going to pay me $5 for working till 10 Wednesday night, which is $20 a month and a real break. I probably mentioned I'm the only one giving individual lip reading right now, and Mrs. Davis wanted me to help with the group, except that I'm filled. It just terrified me at first, but is really a wonderful experience. I work with a 2-year-old baby at 9, have my classes, sociology and educational psychology, and then cases. I have some very interesting ones, some veterans, some old men, and 2 nurses, some housewives. One nurse is the advisor at the Family Health Service of the university. She gives instruction in birth control, and I have to give her lip reading of questions people might ask her. She was very interesting. She says that now they can fit women with tipped uterus, even though sometimes they are severe. There are so many different people. I never dreamed I'd ever be doing this. Mr. Fortune drove me home and said that he thought it was so much more important to get experience in actually doing the work, that he was amazed at the people that had so many credits and courses and still couldn't do anything. I do hope, though, that I'll be successful, because it is a lot of responsibility. If Daddy feels that he needs lip reading, I'll send you a book so you can give him some, okay? Dale gave me a gold KK compact. I love you. Love, Ruthie. P.S. What did you think of Jack? R.S. The Cleveland Hearing and Speech Center, a community fund agency affiliated with Western Reserve University, Garfield House, 11206 Euclid Avenue, Cleveland 6, Ohio, June 30th, 1949. Dearest Mother, Daddy, and Buddy, just a note between cases at the clinic. It certainly is keeping me busy, to say the least. Last night I was so tired that I was still tired when I got up this morning. It's been terrifically hot, too, for the last 12 days straight, with only an occasional thunderstorm. I made a reservation to have my hair cut when I was in Niagara Falls, but John asked me not to. My roommate cut my bangs, but the rest of it still bothers me. The styles are to be short, and I don't think it would look so bad, but John says no. John says, "No, that's your crowning glory." We'll see. How are the election results in Saskatchewan? Our family working all three ways was really funny. I was telling Bunny about it, and she says as long as we vote the same way. It's so nice. Bunny works at the clinic, is married, and has an apartment right around the corner. We are taking educational psychology together, and she asks me over for lunch every day that I stay, and also over for supper Wednesday nights. It just seems so natural to start in fixing a lunch together. Then it came to me. It was the way Marion and I were for so long. It's funny how long ago that all seems. Believe me, I've put in a more challenging year this year than all the others put together. It just makes me feel so bad to think of Bud wasting the precious years. My roommates were discussing how anyone could turn down the opportunity of going to school for free when it's so much harder to work and go. It would be so much quicker for him to get his accounting degree from a university, so much more sure of getting it, and he'd probably get down to work more. I'll say it to the end of my days. It's a pity Daddy doesn't get a job in a university town. Anyone. Edmonton, Hamilton, Toronto, Saskatoon, Winnipeg. It would have saved me a lot. Life. Last night they had a party for Anne and Wayne at the yacht club in Akron. Someone gave Anne and Wayne a boat for a wedding present. John asked me to go, but I had to work. The fellows went to the baseball game Tuesday night, so I went to a movie with a fellow, Carl, who drove me home from school one day. It was okay, but I felt I should have been studying. I have a sociology test in the morning. It's been so nice. I've had letters from Bill in New York and Gloria in Washington, and 6 pages from Francis in Alabama. They all say they'll be seeing me, which I sure hope. Right soon. I have a present from Niagara Falls I must send to you, and Buddy's sock from Christmas. Oh, and what color Hoball pen did you want? Love, Ruthie. P.S. Would you please send me immediately that plaid cotton midriff outfit of mine, turquoise and black. Also the green cotton play suit, if I can see it. Thanks. Love, Ruth. July 5th, 1949. Dearest Mother, I feel so badly not mailing this, and I'm taking a few minutes off from studying. It was lovely to get your letter, and glad you liked the snaps. Dale and Dan seem very happy. He's so nice, and they have a darling apartment. We've been so busy. I studied Friday night. The boys had a stag party for Wayne. Saturday noon, John drove me, Dale, and Dan, and 2 of John's boyfriends to the wedding in Akron. John was the best man. Anne looked lovely, and the reception was at the country club. Lots of champagne. I had 5 glasses and a very good time. Coming back, there were 3 cars of us, and we stopped at Paul's. Saturday night, we went to see The Firefly, an outdoor play, musical. Had supper at Dale and Dan's first. Very nice. Sunday, John took me to the Stratton Story and to Howard Johnson's, and yesterday, the 4th of July, he asked me to go on a picnic. I asked Dale and Dan, and he asked a couple of fellows from the house. It was a wonderful day. The lake we went to first was just packed, so we went to Oberlin, out to the quarry, and it was just beautiful, calm and peaceful. So nice to go swimming. The water was so cool and clear. John goes on holidays Saturday, 1 week in Michigan with his family, then back, and I'll see him Saturday, then 1 week in New York with his boyfriends at a lake. We had a nice picnic, and after lunch I studied while they played bridge, and came home tired and a little burned. I have to study now, exam tomorrow and the next day. I feel really very bad as I didn't do so well this spring. I only got 4 B's and 1 A in anatomy, the hardest subject. Seems funny. I'm disappointed. Yes, Frank said he'd be in Regina Thursday and would like to see me if I were home. He's coming to Columbia in the fall to work on his master's degree. Good. Says he'll see me then anyway. I doubt if he realizes how far New York is from Cleveland. I could write pages on how wrong Daddy seems about ambition. He always seems to think it was a disgrace to be ambition and want to live in a nicer part of town than we do, own a car, but there is a high correlation between the people with high IQs and those who live in a high socioeconomic level, which is only logical. Love, Ruthie. 2493 Overlook Road, Cleveland Heights, Ohio, July 9th, 1949. Dearest Mother, Daddy, and Bud, today is the first day of John's holiday, but it seems like it's the first day of mine. He left this morning for a week in Michigan with his family, and I've spent the day catching up. Catched up on my sleep this morning, catched up on my washing this afternoon, catched up and cleaned the hall and my drawers after supper. And now I'm relaxed and done some of my reading while babysitting in the apartment next door. A very luxurious apartment. TV, Cokes and fruit and watermelon and $3 for the evening. This week has been rather hectic, what with Wayne and Ann's wedding last Saturday and going to Oberlin for the 4th and 2 exams during the week. I made an 84 in my educational psychology. The highest was 92, so made the top percentage out of 62 students. Very glad, although generally I haven't felt like I've been doing so well. Mrs. Davis said I'd been doing very good work with my lip reading cases at the clinic, so I took the opportunity of asking her how I'd got a grade of a B then, and she said that it was exceptionally rare to get an A in clinical lip reading practice, which is... Friday was thrilling. We got 100 copies of our booklet. It's just mimeographed, and we'll revise it later, and then maybe if there's a demand for it, it'll be printed. Anyway, it's a start, and Dr. Gardner's pleased with it. It's 50 cents a copy, and yet at that it makes me so happy to at least accomplish something. I've meant to write to Mrs. Crowther long ago. I discussed Reverend Crowther's position and how I'd liked David to have the opportunities of school here with the bishop's secretary. The vacancies have been filled, but she says there is a continual turnover, and if they had a letter on file from him, it would help in the event something opened up. I also wondered how she'd feel about trying the Toronto Day School. They've asked me to tutor a little girl during August if I'm here, but if I'm home, I'll be glad to work with David. I guess he'll start in Saskatoon in the fall. Darn. Now about coming home. I guess it's natural for you to ask. I thought I'd mention that I planned on working straight through the summer. I get my scholarship for working and can get 6 credits, and it does seem inconsistent to work half-time for half pay through the year in order to take more courses and then not stay now. Then, too, it does cost about $150 return for fare, and as you know, Ruthie's barely making ends meet, so the bank balance is none too good. So, weighing the pros and cons, it looks as though I should stay. However, on the 4th, Dale suggested a holiday might be an idea. I am tired, and it's been a lot of strain, and with a full year ahead, a holiday might pay in the long run. I don't know. You know yourself how I am after 2 weeks at home, fine at first and then nothing to do. I just don't know. It would be so nice to see you all, though, and I guess I've had a few years ahead that I don't have to try to pack it all in now. I'm just afraid that with what I know of my capabilities and possibilities, that I might worry you all to death to get Daddy to get a job in a nicer city, to get Daddy to get a nicer home with a yard and trees and scenery and a car, and to get Buddy to start in on a degree in a serious way that will pay dividends in the end, instead of letting you just be happy the way things are. And when after a few weeks I'd find it was like hitting my head on cement, I'd give up, but never be quite reconciled, and another year would go by. They're hiring a teacher for 1 year only in the event I'll be able to teach full-time a year from September, and Miss Bender asked me to keep it in mind. John took me to the Keene Park outdoor theater play of St. Joan by George Bernard Shaw Thursday night, and last night we saw an old one that I've wanted to see for years, Wuthering Heights. I remember you telling me about it. Tomorrow we're having a co-op picnic and going swimming, which will be nice. I really have enjoyed myself so much the last while, sort of self-realization, you might call it. So again about coming home, I don't know. As you see, there are points both ways. If I do, I'd like to take the Great Lakes boat trip again, stop off and see Bonnie, and enjoy the whole thing, which takes cash. Seems I've been working more for prestige and college credit than anything, which is my choice, of course. This is not a hint for money. I do have enough, but hate to get really flat broke. It's too bad Dad and Bud and I didn't plan our holidays together, and we could have had a cottage and really had a holiday. Mother too, and we could eat salmon and tomatoes. Why don't, if I come home, Mom and I go to a nice lake, and Bud and Dad come out on weekends? Red has stuck with the kids here. I love you, Ruthie. 2493 Overlook Road, Cleveland Heights, Ohio, July 5th, 1949. What a letter! You can throw it away. Dearest Mother, I'm beginning to get another wisdom tooth, so maybe I should be getting a little wiser. That could be questioned, but don't. I've made a decision that should be a step in the right direction. Towards wisdom, I mean. At any rate, I made the decision by myself and without outside influence, at least not much. I wanted to tell you before I heard from you, which might influence me one way or another. I weighed the pros and cons, added a little laziness, and decided to come home for August. It may be foolish, but I expect to stick to it. In a few years, more than anything else, I'm going to want a baby. This is not for public announcement. In order to have a baby, it's wise to have a husband. Before I acquire a husband, I'm going to want to have my degree. To get my degree, I should go to school, which means I should go to school during August to get the 6 credits, since I have a long way to go to get the degree. I can work at the clinic to get my tuition, plus some extra money, so that I'll come out even by September when I start working. The train fare home is high, and as I've warned, I'm not much company after the first 24 hours of conversation. Still, I've decided to come home. I gave the house notice. I told Miss Bender I couldn't tutor. I told Miss Lundis I wouldn't be working at the clinic. So I've decided. You don't know what a big step that is for a girl who hasn't made a decision ahead of time since she decided and went to Florida. That one conditioned her against making decisions for 3 years. I know it sounds lazy of me, but I do feel like a holiday, and it'll be nice to see you. I hope I have a nice time. Let me know if you and Daddy and Bud think I'm wrong. I know the cons are very, very heavy. I had a nice letter from Bill and a picture I'll enclose. Also heard from John, and he'll be here tomorrow night for just a short while before going to New York to some lake with his boyfriends. He wishes I were in Michigan to enjoy the scenery. Dale and Miss Bender both think a holiday will do me good. Thanks for the play suits. I'd forgotten the skirts were too short, but can wear the blouses. Thanks, too, for the play program. I think Frank's doing very well. I hope to get to see him this fall. Do you know when the tour is over? Your suit sounds nice, and I just know you'll look so pretty in it. A lady in the next apartment block just called me to go babysitting tomorrow night. I turned down another because she was so far away. but I guess John can find his way next door. There's a fellow who's been asking me to go out a lot, including last Saturday night. When I got off from the clinic Wednesday night, he was waiting to drive me home, which surprised me. He asked, I had why? I had to go babysitting. So I told him the sandals I have, new ones, cost $3, which I'd earned babysitting. So he said, well, why don't I pay you the $3 and you go out with my mother's little boy? That doesn't sound good. I don't. 3 of my cases have asked me to go out. Last week, one fellow said it was his 23rd birthday and would I have dinner with him? But I decided it's best not to. Then when I left the clinic at 5:30 last night, my last case, a nurse from Creel Hospital, who was about my age, was waiting for me and asked me to dinner and a movie. I didn't know what to say, but she seemed lonesome, so I went and enjoyed a nice chicken dinner and The Secret Garden with Margaret O'Brien and hot fudge sundaes afterwards. People are so nice. Hope you approve of my decision. It's awful the way I have guilt feelings that I'm basically lazy. Would you make a dental appointment for me, please? Maybe Buddy will play tennis with me. I love you, Ruthie. Right Reverend Beverly D. Tucker, Episcopal Church, Diocese of Cleveland, 2241 Prospect Avenue, Cleveland. Secretary Miss Fleer, Hearing and Speech Center. Dearest, just got your letter. Dennis's mother has invited me to supper and to stay overnight. They are buying a new house, and she asked me some time ago if I might like to move in with them. Maybe I should. Bring Davy Crowther back with me. Don't you think you would like North Westminster? It's so near Vancouver, it's beautiful, and you already know lots of people there. Bud could go to the University of British Columbia. July 20th, 1949. Dearest Mother, Daddy, and Bud. This is just a quick line between cases. My last one and then home at 9:30. I wrote last week but didn't post it, so now it's outdated. The main thing is that I've decided to come home in August. I decided by myself last week and thought of waiting and just coming home and then decided I'd give you a chance to make some brownies for me. John has been giving me lessons in problem solving. Weigh the pros and cons, then decide. So I did, although I don't know how valid my weighing was. I should go to school, I guess, when I have the chance to pick up 6 credits and also have the opportunity to work and get the scholarship, but I can feel my work getting worse at school. I like the clinic very much, so maybe a rest will help. I had a note from Marion in Edmonton and Connie from the boat. John came in Saturday evening at 8 o'clock and left about 1 with his boyfriends. He brought me a little green turtle from Michigan. Very nice to see him. When I told him I decided to go home, he said it seemed like a prison sentence for me to be away. I've been working on my schoolwork but had 2 tests this morning and feel like I did very poorly, so think I should rest before I start failing. I got a lot of sun, so lots of freckles. I've been going to the Y to try to learn to swim properly. The doctor told me no diving still, though. Sweet about Bud's tan. I was babysitting 3 times. $3, $2.50, and $1.35. Not like the 25-cent days. Next door they have a television set which is quite distracting. I saw a whole movie the other night while babysitting. Several of my cases have asked me to go out, but I don't. One fellow said it was his 23rd birthday, and would I have dinner with him? I don't think it's wise to. Tonight, just as another was leaving, he said, "Why aren't you married? Do you have a boyfriend?" By that time, the door was open and all the people in the waiting room were grinning away. One patient was a nurse waiting when I left and asked me to dinner last week and the movies with her. She seemed lonesome, so I went. I enjoyed a chicken dinner and Secret Garden. Big ball game here. The Yankees are in town to play the Indians. I'd like to see it. $7 a seat right now. Sold out 3 weeks ago. Right. Will Buddy teach me to play tennis if I come home? I love you, Ruthie. To be continued. Well, that concludes today's presentation. Good luck to you with your efforts in family history if this interests you, finding, preserving, and sharing old letters, diaries, and photographs, and interviewing elderly relatives while they're alive. You might consider checking out our website, Adventures in History with Peter J. Ray at peterjray.com. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. God bless you. Take care, and I'll see you next time.